Hey everybody, it's me, Mrs. R. I'm not going to be able to be in class with you today, so I thought I'd explain my expectations for your resume, because that's what we're working on today. We want a nice, clean, polished resume today. So everybody's got their rubric, which is a rubric is how I'm going to grade you. And so we'll go from the top, and I will show you via a lovely little circle that shows up when I move it around what I mean by this. Okay, so I'm letting you know capitalization is 8 points. Okay, so one of the things I'm saying is all the names of people, streets, schools, awards, and places are capitalized. Okay, for example, okay, is this my name? Why, yes it is. So the R, the W, and the D would have to be capitalized. Okay, names of streets would have to be. Names of cities. Okay, our state is abbreviated capital M, capital I. So make sure you do it. When it comes to, okay, like right here, Kent Transition Center, okay, the K, the T, and the C should be capitalized because it's the name of a building. It's the name of a school. Okay? Your first letters to your class names will also be capitalized. So that's one thing that I'm grading you on is things like that. That would also include, you know, when you write out your high schools, that the capital S is there for school, capital H for the high, all that good stuff. Okay, another part to the capitalization grade. It says beginning of sentences are capitalized in in the experience section. So if we were to go down, okay, you would notice that down here in experience, if you were to go and have explained something out, like a list of things that you've done, you would have made it like a real sentence. So the first letter would have been capitalized, and you would have had punctuation, it would make sense, all that good stuff. Okay, but the one I'm really interested in, because a lot of people, they haven't had job experience, so they're going to have this blank. They're still going to keep the heading, but they're going to have it blank down here. What I'm really kind of concerned about is right up here, okay? We want you to say underneath qualifications at the Kent Transition Center in this class, you learn these specific skills that make you more specialized for a job or a better pick for a job than some other person on the street. So you're going to have a verb, and you're going to start out the sentence with that verb. We want you to capitalize this. These are as close to sentences as it can be, because literally this whole resume is about you. You're the subject, you're the noun. And so these are like the little snippets of sentences. So because here's the verb, and if you read through it, if you always keep connecting it back to you learned this, it makes sense. Okay? So we're saying they all have to be capitalized right here. Okay, so then the next one, organization. This is the heftier one. This is 20 points in itself. Okay? All sections of the resume still exist and are emboldened. What I mean is, when you hand this in, I should still see objective, qualifications, education. I should still see experience, and I should still see awards and certificates. Okay? The next one underneath. To get a 4, you need to have to get a 4, you need to have more than 3 skills named here under qualifications. But if you have 3 like I do, you're going to get 3 points. Okay, I'm also asking for them to end in ED. Okay? Why? Because when in doubt, go and make your skills that you've done, okay, that verb snippet in there, in past tense. Okay? But this is my biggest pet peeve. Okay? Do you see any of those instruction statements in here? Like, for example, when I first handed this out to you, it probably would have said class name, colon, okay? You don't see that here. You just see me actually putting down the class name. That's what I want to see. You don't see skill learned here anymore. You just see the skill that you learned. That's what we're looking for. You don't see name of high school here. You just see the actual name of the high school that you go to typed out. I'm looking for those to be gone. Okay. Okay, another thing I'm looking for to get you full points is whether you have your addresses done correctly. Okay, just a reminder, you guys, there's always one line that says what's the number of the building or the number of the house and what street is it on. And then the next one has to be your city, the state, and the zip code. Okay, if you hand it in to me without some of that stuff, you're going to be getting marked down. Okay? And then, if you're somebody who's had a job before, or you've gotten an award before, I'm also giving you points, okay, for if you can tell me when you got this thing. Places want to see when you got these awards. They don't want to know that you got them forever ago, because that's not going to help them. They want to see that you got them recently. It gives them a really good snapshot of you and how you are. Okay, next spot is appearance. Okay, all the parts are left aligned except the title. Okay, that's what'll get you 4 points. What I mean by left aligned is, see how everything lines up over here on the far left side? That's left aligned, which also tells me right up here. Okay, now I know I'm going to have somebody do it. They'll hand something in to me and it looks like this, okay? I don't want to see something looking like that. That's not going to look good to a boss, and they're not going to think very much of your resume if you do that. So make sure that these things are left aligned, okay? Should line up all nice and pretty, okay? The font should all be the same size within one section, okay? I know that some people are going to have a problem with this because I told them to basically copy and paste from Google their school's address. So what I've seen in the last few days is where somebody has theirs at 24 for this part, and they have it at 12 for this part, okay? And also 2 different fonts. So what I want you guys to do is make sure that you highlight it, make sure that it's Times New Roman, and make sure that it's size 12 so that it goes together really nicely. Okay, everything should look uniform, which means the same. Okay, the resume information can fit on the first page, okay? And that see references attached should be at the bottom, okay? I should not have this off of my page, okay? This is really important because that's letting that person know there are references that you can hand to them later, okay? But we want to make sure that we have your contact information, your objective, your qualifications, your education, your experience, and your awards and certificates all on one page, because they don't have the time to read more than one page. They need to get right straight to the point and find out what skills you have, where you're getting an education, okay? And if you've ever had any job experience before, they need that information and they can't take the time to read it. Okay, next thing, spelling errors. I'm just letting you guys know, okay, if you have no spelling errors, you'll get a 4 in that box for spelling. If you have 1 to 2 spelling errors, okay, you're going to get a 3. If you have 2 to 5, that's a 2. 6 to 8, that would be a 1. And more than 8 spelling errors would get you a 0, a big goose egg. Okay, but then this is the really important part, the time part. If you turn it in today to Miss LaFergie, okay, that includes handing your rough drafts in with your final copy, okay, and your rubric on top so we can grade it up. Okay, if you turn it in today, you're going to get straight 4 points in this one section. Okay, if you turn it in sometime this week, it's going to be a 3. If you turn it in next week, which would be 1 week late, you're going to get a 2. If you turn it in 2 to 3 weeks late, so 2 weeks from now, or even longer than that, it's going to be 1. And if you turn it in 3+ weeks late, it's going to be a 0 in this section. Okay, so I've now laid out for you guys what we're going to do in terms of grading. what I'm going to have you do, we're going to give you some time to finish up putting some stuff in, okay? But then we want you to print out, okay? We want you to print a copy of this out so then you can hand it to your classmates, okay? What we mean, if mine will work, you'll go to print, bear with me, going a little slow. Okay, you guys will want to make sure that you check yours, okay? Of course, I'm doing this on my home computer so it doesn't show up, but you're going to be looking for it to say KTC B122-1, okay? Because that'll be the printer right inside of the computer lab, okay? Now, we don't want to go and print both pages. I just want to print this page that I see right now. So I'm going to check this little box, or this little circle here, and I'm going to type 1. And it will only print this one page. Okay? Then I select print, and then it would go to the printer. You're going to exchange this with a classmate, and they're going to look through your resume to make sure that there's nothing off. You could also have Miss Lafergie or Mr. Price look it over, okay? But we want you guys to do some peer editing with each other's, and then we want you to do your final up. And I do really just want you guys to know, when it comes to writing, nobody does something perfect straight from the start. We understand that you have to, sometimes we don't catch something, when we're doing it for ourselves, but somebody else might be able to. So, but writing is a process where you're always trying to make something better. It's just like when somebody goes and they try to find a remedy for an illness, they're trying to make themselves better. If somebody's renovating something, they're trying to make a house better or redo it. Well, writing is a process where you're always in the state of redoing something to make it better. So if you have to print this out more than once, do not get frustrated. This is a good learning experience for you. I know some people are going to hate writing by the end of the day, but this is something that needs to happen, because we can't have you going out into the world with a bad looking resume, because we care for you. So what I'm going to have you do, make sure you print off a rough draft, exchange it with a partner. Look over each other's resumes. Tell them if they have something in there that shouldn't be in there. Okay? Help them get some of those instruction statements out. Okay? Because we want them to make it look like they did it on their own. Not that I gave them a fill in the blank. Make sure the capitals are in there. Okay? And if there's some part of the section, if there's some section, like for example, experience in jobs, if you've never had a job, take out the stuff underneath, but keep that bold and underline heading that you see there. Okay, so I'm excited. I think you guys are going to do great, but I will miss you today, and I'll see you back on Thursday. Okay, have a good night, everybody. Take care.